Hey, this is Mark Henry, author of Dancing with Energy, Healing Magic, and Mysticism. So again, I am shooting this video in my house rather than outside due to the sweltering heat. So I'm in my office with my lights going, and we are going to proceed. So the title for this video is As the Wheel of Fortune Turns. So this is another tarot video, and we're going to explore another card in the Major Arcana. So this is going to be the 10th card of the Major Arcana in the Rider-Waite deck, and as I always tell you in these tarot videos, just to reinforce it, is that any of these cards should not be read in isolation, but only in relationship to the other cards around it, and also in the context of the question, which is posed by the querent, and also where the meaning of where that card lies in the deck, whether it's past, present, or future, or any other type of meaning. So let's go ahead and begin. So let me show you what it looks like in case you've never seen it. Alright, so this is the Wheel of Fortune. As you can see, there's a lot going on here. There's a wheel, there are four beings in the four corners. There's even little creatures that are surrounding the wheel. Okay. Now, when I first started to collect my thoughts about this video, I thought of a couple things. One is that when I was a child, especially during the summers, my mother would watch soap operas, and she would watch As the World Turns, standard soap opera showing the lives of different people. Also, it reminded me of at that same time period was when the game show The Wheel of Fortune came out. It was like 1982, 1983, somewhere in there. And it got me thinking that life, like game shows, are a lot about skill, luck, and competition. So as the Wheel of Fortune turns, we're going to talk more about that. So Fortuna, in case you're not aware, is the Roman goddess of fortune. And I always associate her with the Wheel of Fortune. She would spin the wheel at random, and however it ended up was how it ended for the person. And and it could be very cruel or it could be very rewarding. And it didn't matter to her because basically it was fate. And I also think about this, the Wheel of Fortune, with the the casino game, the roulette wheel. It's very much a wheel, and it is about fortune. People surround it and bet on numbers, bet on black, bet on red, bet on the even numbers, the odd numbers, on the green, and there is a person who is the croupier, say in French, the one who spins the wheel, who is like Fortuna. And as a result of his action of spinning the wheel and dropping the ball is going to determine the fate of where that ball falls. And it's either going to make the people around the table very happy or quite displeased, especially if they're betting a lot of money. But the lesson of Fortuna is that there are good times and then there are bad times, and that we have to kind of accept them as they come. So let's talk a little bit about what is on the card again. The cardigan, not a cardigan like a sweater. I should gotta separate those words. Okay, so what you have is a Sphinx right there in the middle, just above it. And the Sphinx is made up of these four other beings, these hybrid creatures. All of them have wings. I don't know if you noticed that. And all of them have open books. So this is rather curious. So what you have is that you have a bull, which represents, the element of earth. You have the lion representing fire. You have the eagle representing water, and the angel, which is representing the other element, air. And you're going to see this theme in this card in a second. So that tells us that, again, with occultism, especially early occultism, the universe, fortune, fate, everything was considered of the four elements. And the four elements are part of and integrated into astrology. They're integrated into magic. There are people who just want to work with the fire element and gain energy and power in the air to help them with their intellect, and to work with the colors and the beings that are associated with that element. Then you have astrology, which is also the same thing. Every sign is ruled by a particular element. In fact, I mentioned the bull, which is Taurus, right? And then I mentioned the lion, which is Leo, which we are all right now in the solar sign of Leo. So for those of you, my viewers who are like me, who are Leos, happy birthday. And if you're in the July Leo, happy belated birthday. But setting that aside, okay, so look in the wheel. So what you'll see is you'll see some Hebrew. You'll have 4 Hebrew letters, and that is the Hebrew name, the unutterable name of God, Yad-Heh-Vah-Heh. So those are the four letters represented by the 4 elements again. So you have the 4 elements in the exterior, and you have them in the interior, as above, so below. You have, I don't know if you can see the color, you have Anubis on the bottom part of the wheel. And Anubis is an Egyptian god, and he represents more of the constructive, positive elements of the universe. We're talking about reward and good things. And on the other side, that snake is Seth, or Typhon, which represents the opposite, the downward force, the, for lack of better, destructive or evil force, if we're going to put it in kind of good and evil sort of Judeo-Christian type of thinking. But they are, again, representing the duality of the universe in the wheel, and with existence and fate. And I mentioned the books. All 4 of them have open books. It looks like some of them are reading it and some of them aren't. But the books are representing a couple things. One is they represent learning from the experiences of others that have gone before, other knowledge, not just self-knowledge, but knowledge of other things. So what is this, what does this mean, basically? If Wheel of Fortune falls into your spread, what does it mean? So what it basically means is that we cannot control fortune, just like we can't control the roulette wheel. We can, make, some people think that they can make smart bets and do these different types of strategies, but we don't have a lot of control over that. What we can do is, as a result of Fortuna, as a result of how things fall, we can learn how to tolerate it, We can learn how to manage it by managing ourselves and our reaction to things. But we can't, because there are so many people and forces, well, then people specifically have free will, and there are things that are forces of nature that we have no control over. Because here in southern Louisiana, Florida, and Texas, the Gulf Coast, we don't have control over the hurricanes that come and come down our path. We can only prepare and make preparations before they happen. So there is what we can control and there's what we cannot control. And the Wheel of Fortune says that because of Anubis and Seth, the downward and upward motions that consist of things, because of the four elements, we must just acceptance. We must accept that this is the way fortune falls. There was a book that came out maybe in the 80s or 90s. It was called Why Do Bad Things Happen to Good People? And it talked a little bit about the problem of evil and of unfortunate things happen to people who don't deserve it. And this card a lot of times kind of asks you to develop knowledge of things, of relationships between things, of people, and self-knowledge. And by doing that, that is how you manage your relationship to reality. That's how you tolerate fortune. Fortune, especially when it doesn't go well for you. Another thing that you see, before I forget, is that there are a lot of different creatures here. You know, I mentioned the bull, there's an angel, the lion, the eagle, then you have Anubis and Seth and clouds and all sorts of things. So this is also a card about diversity, in learning that there are a lot of different forces in the universe, there are a lot of differences in the universe, and that is also part of our growth, understanding, and evolution to get along and understand all of these different things and be part of that. So that is the Wheel of Fortune. But before I keep forgetting things, just because I like to show the relationship between different cards. So we had this number 10, the Wheel of Fortune. And in the 21st, there is the World. And guess what? In the four corners, you see the same beings, same elements. So, relationship between the Wheel of Fortune and the World. Okay, I think we are done now. So, thank you for listening. Please subscribe and like. As always, I will put links in the description to Patreon if you want to become part of my inner circle, get extra videos, find out about things before anyone else. I really appreciate those that support this channel, and I hope to have other people who want to access that extra content. So, I will see you all in a future video, and you have a good rest of the weekend, okay? Bye-bye.